Hello and welcome back to the Otakology Podcast. I'm your host, Otaku Mike. With me, as always, is my boomer partner, Jen Graves.
Boomer.
Boomer.
You dick. I'd rather be a choom than a boomer.
Okay. Sorry. My bad, Choom. I'm sorry.
My bad, choom.
But today, we are back talking about Bubblegum Crisis. We are talking about episode 3, Blown Up.
Episode 3.
Which came out in December 5th, 1987. Which I was wrong when I said these came out in the 90s. They did, but they came out over in America in the 90s.
Oh, so they were actually more 80s
inspired. Yeah, they came out in 87 and 88, and towards the end they came out in the 90s. Okay. Scratch what I said in I think the second or first episode.
Yeah. Do you know of these ones? Because you said there was a pretty big gap in between all of them. Do you know when this one came out in conjunction to the first one?
So the first one came out February 25th, 1987.
Okay.
The second one came out in September 5th. And this one is December 5th of 1987.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it wasn't that bad. They were probably about a month after each other.
Yeah. So the next one comes out in July.
I thought you were originally, when you said all that, I thought you were giving me every 6 months they had an episode come out. What the hell?
So the next one comes out in July 1988.
Okay.
And then they have one in December 88, and then they go to 89, and then they jump 90 and then 91.
Okay.
So yeah. But yeah, we're looking at this episode. We've had a lot of fun talking about the first 2 episodes.
Kind of
a little bit.
Sometimes one of us gets pretty confused.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I got a little confused in this episode.
Yeah.
A little bit. A little bit. I felt like some stuff was not really planned out too well. Or maybe I
agree.
Or maybe
I feel like this is a good episode though, like how you were telling me before. Well, I guess telling everybody.
Yeah.
About how they weren't exactly made by the same group of people.
Yeah, they were made by the same group. They're made by the same group and stuff, but certain people took the heads on certain episodes and stuff.
Yeah.
Or leads.
Because in this one, I feel like Leon is a lot colder than what he usually is.
Yes, and we'll get into that.
It kind of threw me off because I was like, man, this guy's supposed to be lover boy, going to Pris's rescue and all this other stuff and trying to be up her ass, and he's just oh, I'm just on my desk. I'm sitting at my desk.
Yeah.
Nothing's really important. I'm just gonna sit here.
There was one part where we'll get to later on that cracked me the fuck up with him. I was laughing so hard.
It's not where he knocked all the stuff off his desk, is it?
No, it's where Pris gets the parking ticket.
Yeah. Well, that's fairly early, so
yeah. But let's get into this. Let's get into this episode. We watched Blown Up. Our story starts out with the Genom Corporation sending in a new type of boomer unit to wreak havoc on a specific district of the city of Tokyo.
Listen. What? This one is not a boomer, okay?
It is a boomer.
This one is a rehash of the Gundam Zigok, okay? That is what this is.
It kind of looks like it a little bit.
I don't know if I have the name exactly right, but it's the big turquoise blue one.
Yeah, you're talking. Yeah, it's Zigok.
Okay, yeah, and I saw this and I was like, this looks like that, but with wings on it.
Yeah, no. I can now that you said like the Z kids, that's the one with like the little claw hands, right?
Uh, yeah, no,
Is it?
no, maybe.
Maybe, kinda, sorta.
The one I'm thinking about almost looks like a battleship, and it's like a turquoise blue.
Okay.
But I know which one you're talking about. You're talking about the yellow and brown one.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'd say if you took whatever one I'm talking about and that one and mixed them together, it'd be spitting image. Except that this one had a Red Bull and he got wings.
He has like jet propulsion. Yeah.
But I have to say, out of all the boomers we've seen so far, this one, I really wish that this was the first episode with the rock pop scene where we got the concert, because I think this boomer is cooler than everything else we've seen.
I mean, he is a pretty cool boomer, but I was kind of disappointed that we didn't get any like rock pop at the beginning of this episode to get us to go and get us started, you know? We just kind of get like generic 80s anime music.
You're like, I'm getting that whole thing where it's like, yeah, we're just gonna get right into sex, you know. We're no warm up or anything.
No foreplay. You're not warming it up.
You're like, the fuck is going on? Did I walk into a different dimension? Like,
no, yeah, because we get the cool song at the end of the climactic battle this time,
right? And so I'm going to tell you this, and you're going to be like, I don't know. You may be like, I don't know. I don't understand. But at the end of this, when the music started playing, it really gave me like Bleach vibes.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, you know, like when the fight starts getting really good and they start playing that, baby, now you feel like number one.
Yeah.
Shining bright. Like, I felt like that's what they were doing in this, and I was like, what's going on? Y'all don't usually play the music at this part.
They were playing like I think they did in one of the episodes. I think they did, or they do have some like a song or something. I think in the second episode, maybe. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I still like it that we got the pop song, but I kind of wish it was at the beginning to pump us up, like because it was a very.
That's what I'm saying. I felt like this one held on till we actually got to the fight scene to do it, and I was like,
but see, here's the thing, like.
What's going on?
The fight with the 80 police and the boomer was really cool at the beginning. Like I like seeing them, like all the different 80 police come out and they had like their mech suits and stuff.
See, and I think that one would have been better if they took like I mean, obviously it came out before, but I feel like it would have been cooler if they did like a Ghost in the Shell beginning, where like you get like the thing over the intercom a little bit, like where they're, hey, this is what's going on, and then you kind of got that underlie of music just a little bit, maybe, and it tickled our fancy just a little bit, and then at the end we really got the song like we did this time. I mean, I have to say I really love that they did that, but it was also kind of like I felt like it was missing a lot of stuff at the beginning. And I think it's just because the music actually gets you into this. Like,
did you see the 180 police officer who got turned into Swiss cheese? Like, he got holes all through him, and like he lost his arms, lost his legs, lost his head. Like, he just got blown apart with the boomer.
Maybe
I mean, it was It was a really fast scene.
Because didn't he shoot him?
Yeah.
Because this is like. Let me tell you, I'm just going to tell you with this episode, I felt like it was a total game changer for a lot of stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like I think I enjoyed this episode the most out of the 3 we've watched so far.
Yeah. Go ahead.
But I really think that part of it was because of that. Because like in the other ones we've had so far, we really didn't have like blood or anything.
I mean, we did.
And it didn't seem like it though.
Oh.
And then this one, like it seemed like it was actually in your face because we got where I'm going to call it the Gundam, where the Gundam like swooped in, and then we got the Swiss cheese part, like you said. Like you have a guy where he's getting blown up or he's getting loaded full of lead, and like blood's coming out, and then you see the vehicle start taking bullets behind him, and it blows up, and you know, like other people get it, and you're like, yikes! Like,
it was a really cool scene.
What's going on?
Yeah, no, it was really cool, and we see because we see the AD police out there doing their thing, and
which were these the regular police? This wasn't.
No,
this wasn't Leon's unit.
It was the AD police, but it was a different unit, I believe.
Okay.
Of the AD police, I think. Because I think Leon shows up or he goes to the scene.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly. Because the Knight Sabers aren't there yet, I think.
Yeah.
Which is really funny to see because, like, I think Nene is off doing, like, traffic work. I don't know what's... No. I remember what it was now. So, the boomer attack happens. And Pris is at the bar with Lena, and she's about to go on to do a show, but they have to leave and he gets really angry with him and stuff. And Lena's car doesn't work; it breaks down, so she gets left behind. We don't know what happens to her, basically. And we see Pris basically drive off, and we end up seeing Nene, and Nene like lets her through the traffic, and Pris ends up like getting like a traffic ticket and stuff.
Yeah.
Which that part was really
we get
funny.
This part too where, why the fuck did you let her go?
She was like, I don't know. And they end up getting to the area where Silky Doll is, which is Celia's lingerie shop. And that gets like completely trashed and whatnot. Like, they were sending them in that area for a reason. The boomer was being sent.
Yeah.
And I can't remember because it's starting to blend together. Did they fight the boomer at the beginning of the first episode, or did they not fight the boomer? Because I can't remember.
The very first episode, or
no, like this episode.
No,
they didn't fight the boomer.
No.
Okay. I was a little confused.
That's why when we were talking off air, when you said, well, they released 2 of them, I was like, I don't remember there being a second one.
Yeah.
I don't, maybe they called him back. I don't remember there being another one.
And I love this scene where they're at the lingerie shop kind of picking things up and whatnot. And Pris is like not helping at all. And she's like, why don't we just go like take out Mason, who is like in charge of like a certain part of Genom. Like, they know he's been around.
Yeah.
For the first episode doing stuff. And she's like, why don't we go do this? And like, they're like, we can't go do this because of like the Knight Sabers have like rules that they have to follow.
Right.
Which they can't go to, like, it was like act of vengeance. They can't be going off alone. They have to always be together, stuff like that, It was like Article 2, Article 3, whatever it was, And we go from there to
which I do not understand why that was in here at all, because like Pris is always by herself.
Yeah.
And like this, I feel like, so besides Leon kind of being more cold in this one, I also feel like kind of that whole thing of them having like a code of conduct is kind of foreign as well, because we've not ever had anything brought up in the first 2 episodes, besides until we got to the third one.
Yeah.
Was brought up like, hey, we have a code. Like,
we have a code. We have a code, guys.
And it's like, do you? I don't
know. Do they?
Yeah, I just don't. I don't see, and some of it doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
where part of that lies.
Mm-hmm.
And so I guess like you could kind of see like when people are behind different storylines, I almost feel like everybody wrote their stories at the same time, and then nobody wanted to go back and try and fix the stories up and go, let me play off of your episode or something like that. They were like, all right, write your episode first, and then we're just going to round robin this shit, okay?
Yeah.
Like, Because the only thing I feel like really holds true in this episode, besides there being kind of like the whole like boomers doing something off the wall, and then there being another bad guy doing something off the wall, was Mackie being a pervert. That's the only other thing that felt like it rang true in this compared with the other episodes.
Yeah, which was a very slight pervert move in this episode. But we'll get to it. We'll get to it when we talk about it.
Totally.
Which he's got a thing for his sister.
You're my sister.
which why doesn't he go after, I don't know, maybe like Nene? Because Nene's younger. Like Nene's the youngest of them all.
I have no clue. And then the other thing that really throws me off is like if we go off of anything like Japanese or whatever, like Mackie would totally have been, before even like Tenchi Muyo, would have totally taken the crown of being like the first like guy trying to create a harem in an anime. But he's not.
No, he's not
just,
at all.
He's just like, oh man, my sister.
Yeah.
My sister, what's up?
Yeah.
Like, and I don't know. I feel like that's one part of this whole thing that I'm starting to get conflicted about. Because, like, as many times as we see this happen, I'm like, oh, just throw him a bone. And then I'm like, wait, it's his sister. Don't do that. Back off of what I said, like, and, like, it's just weird.
So in this, apparently Nene is 18 years old.
Okay.
Yeah, so Nene's 18. Lena is 20.
Which how old is Mackie supposed to be?
Pris is 19. That's what I'm trying to look for.
Okay.
Celia is 22 years old.
Okay.
So let's see if I can find Mackie. Did I miss him?
Yeah, because when she looked like a teenager, Mackie looked like he was like 8.
So it doesn't say how old Mackie is on the Wikipedia page.
It's fucked up.
It doesn't say how old he is.
How are y'all going to leave Mackie out?
I don't know.
Well, I question that not only because of that part, but whenever we have this whole part where Pris goes to the apartments and they talk about the one kid being 10, and I was like, the fuck?
So we'll get to shoot.
There's no way that this kid is 10.
We'll get to show real fast. But in this Wikipedia article, it says Mackie's character is also extremely perverted, trying to catch his sister as well as the other Knight Sabers in the nude as much as he can. We've only seen him look at his sister.
Yeah.
So where is it coming at?
I need you to send something in and complain to the Wikipedia about this shit, because that is not true.
Where have they shown where he's like perved on them?
Right.
Which I don't know if that happens later on, but it is what it is. But anyways, Pris ends up leaving and she sees a kid who is like her neighbor. His name is Sho. And Sho's just sitting in a park by himself. Has nothing to do because his mom's working late. And she's talking to him and whatnot. And she gives him some food. They kind of hang out,
She gives him a hamburger.
Which his mom walks up and says,
I just want to add into this part that I'm a little confused on part of this. So she gave him a hamburger. She said, he said, Mom, what are we having? And she said a hamburger, and he goes, I just had one, kind of, sort of.
Yeah.
Can we have something else like pizza? And she goes, yeah. And then, like, the next day that we see him, it's his birthday, and they're having fucking pizza again.
Yeah, I think they have pizza that night.
So and I was like, why are we having pizza again?
Because they invite Pris over to have dinner. To have the world-famous pizza.
No, it's 2 separate days.
Is it 2 separate days?
Yeah, because remember, she gives him the hamburger, and we haven't even had the little scene yet where it's the next day or whatever, where Mason comes in.
Oh.
So it's got to be at least lunchtime. And I was like, okay, is this leftover pizza? That's not going to be a cheese pull with leftovers pizza. Like, and
see,
so I'm like,
I took it as like the same night.
No, it was like the next day or something, or a couple days after.
Are you sure?
Yeah, because when she gets in the argument with Mason and everything, and they run outside, it's daytime.
Because she shows up at the apartments because Mason's going to evict everybody.
Yeah, but when the mom comes home, it's already nighttime.
It's true.
So it couldn't be the same night because
no, I meant like when they have the pizza, it's the same night. Is what I'm saying. As when they meet up and eat the hamburger.
Oh no, because it would have to be the next day. Because right after that happens and everybody runs outside, they run outside at his birthday party. Because remember, whenever he goes, I left something inside, and they all start going back inside to get to it.
Yeah, because that's when they start destroying the place.
And his mom's like, no, I'll get it. She's going back in to grab something that was like his birthday present.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so that's what we get.
But I'm just going to tell you, I completely understand what you're saying, because I almost thought the same fucking thing, and I was like, there's no fucking way.
So we get the incident where we find out that the company Genom, has basically bought several districts or whatever throughout Tokyo, and they're going to bulldoze them down to basically make like industrial places.
They're going to boomer them down.
And we get this scene where Pris goes to like attack this one guy, and he basically she hits him with a golf club, and he like takes it and like wraps it around her neck and holds her up. He's like choking the shit out of her.
Yeah.
And Leon shows up. He's like, "Oh, I don't have time for a riot." He's like, "Hey, what are you doing there? You can't do that. You're being a little rough with her."
Right.
Like, he can't do anything.
And the gun he pulls out is so funny.
Oh, the revolver?
He pulls out a revolver. I'm like, guys, this is a sci-fi show.
Well, he uses that revolver in the first episode.
Why is he pulling this revolver out? I really thought he used a regular police issued handguns.
No, that's the gun he uses at the beginning of the first episode.
Okay.
Yeah.
It just threw me off. I guess I didn't notice that in the first one.
And Pris happens to live in this apartment building too, which is funny to think about.
So I have a question on this one.
Okay.
Because we have a part right here where she's going to wash dishes.
I think she was at Lena's house there.
Okay. And so what I'm confused on with that is she acted like she was staying there. Lena did.
Uh-huh.
And then we supposedly have where she lives at this other one at the apartment complex.
Uh-huh.
And the other thing that I'm confused on is does she also sleep in their tour bus? Because there's the whole scene where she's walking and she gets mad at something, kicks the can,
and
then she walks in, we see the thing sitting there first, and I couldn't tell what it was until I saw her walk up to it.
Yeah,
because I thought it was a trash can or like something with her name sprayed on the side of it.
Yeah,
and it was like, no, that's the name of her band and everything.
So
where is Pris living at?
I want to say, I think the building gets destroyed and she goes to stay with Lena.
Okay.
I think that's what happens. Because she's like, oh, you do someone a favor and feed them and stuff, and they just get mad at you and start yelling at you, is what Lena says.
Yeah, and she kept asking her to do stuff. That's another thing I was confused on.
Like, I thought they were roommates for a second.
I thought so too.
Yeah.
And then just that whole part where it was like, well, I need you to do this and this. I was like, wait, I thought she was a guest. They're acting like she's stayed with her for a long time.
No, I think it's just like a day or something.
So, and then the tour bus thing threw me off too, because I was like, wait, so does she have like many different locations that she just stays at?
Probably.
It's Tuesday. I'm going to Lena's house. Oh, it's Wednesday. I'm spending the night in the tour bus.
But unfortunately, Show's mom dies.
I was like,
unfortunately.
Don't get this started.
Sorry.
Mackie. Oh, you're my mother. Oh, you're my mother. What the fuck?
Mackie's mom. You even said it again. Show's mom dies, and Show unfortunately becomes an orphan.
I have no clue.
No clue. It was
because Pris says she's going to take care of him or whatever or something like that, and then we never see him the rest of the fucking episode.
No, we see him at the very end.
I don't recall that.
Yeah, the very end was where we see him at.
But I have a question to get to this part. Because when they were sitting there talking about the stuff when they were at his birthday party and they were eating before she ran back in there, obviously her and Pris have kind of known each other for a while.
Yeah.
But my question to you is, just because we don't 100% know at this moment, do you think that Pris is bisexual?
I don't know.
Because in this one with, you said his name was Show?
Yeah.
With Show's mom, it kind of seemed like they were flirting together a little bit here and there.
Maybe,
And so I was gonna be like, well, isn't she supposed to end up with Leon at some point? Yeah. Or is she a lesbian? Or is she bi?
I thought she just liked dudes.
I don't know, because you would think that. But the way that she's kind of acted with Leon so far, and there's nothing really there to go on. Like, I could completely say that she's probably more of a lesbian that understands how she can get away with stuff with men.
I don't know.
Without, really talking to him too much or dating him or doing anything physical or whatever. But this is the first time I really feel like...
Are you talking about the scene where she kind of blushes a little bit?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Because she's talking to Show's mom and something happens. And then they say something else and it kind of happens again. And then the way that she reacted, defending the mom with Mason's boomer... And then after she basically got taken out, the way that she kind of acted.
Yeah.
It kind of seemed like there was a little more there. They just couldn't really put more into words for it.
Maybe they were friends, really good friends. I don't know.
I don't know. Some of the word choices. I don't know.
I mean, she really did like that pizza.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if the translation worked out so much in their favor, but maybe it was just when it came over here and got translated.
I thought it was really funny when she was eating the pizza. She's like, that's some good pizza.
Yeah. So,
yeah. And things kind of come to a head.
I'll say.
Where we get the scene where I was really confused at this point, where we see Mason, he's sitting in a chair, but we also see Celia sitting in a chair as well. And we get flashes of the hard suits, the schematics. Was it Charlotte, the girl from the first episode and stuff? So I was kind of wondering, was Mason grabbing information from Celia? Low-key stealing it? And we get the scene where Mackie, he says he missed Celia changing in her underwear. He's man, I'm so sad.
Oh man.
He's oh man, I'm so sad. I can't do this. But Pris ends up, going and she's going to go take on Mason.
Yeah.
Because she's like, we got to take this guy out. You know, he's doing bad things. You know, they're buying up all this land. They're destroying stuff. It's their fault. All the boomers and stuff. And we get this scene where she's, what you said to me, you said the scene where she's changing into her hard suit is the exact same scene we've seen before.
Yeah, it seemed like the one that we saw in episode 2.
Yeah. And then we get
and we haven't really seen it with anybody else. Like I guess you could allude to it because we have seen where Lena is basically changing, and of course we have the weird one from episode 1, where she was reading Mel or something in her nightgown.
Yeah.
But we haven't really seen anyone else. This one I think really stuck out because you actually get like almost full frontal, I will say.
It was full frontal.
And it's her pulling her suit up, and
it's full frontal, but it goes past the bottom half really fast.
Yeah, but I fully think like that is the same scenes.
I mean, it could be. It's possible. I mean, I wouldn't put it past them for reusing animation scenes.
Yeah. Well,
a lot of companies do that.
Well, and one of the other things is just kind of trips me up, like with all the suits, it makes me think like how like with Power Rangers or Ronin Warriors or Sailor Moon or all these other things. Part of that we could reuse all those scenes, kind of sort of, right? The transformation scenes. And so far, I don't feel like we have reused any of them except for this one.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, maybe it was just because of the fan service.
Maybe so.
I mean, I liked seeing Pris get into her hard suit. I mean, I think it looks cool.
You liked her getting into her suit when you were a wee lad?
I mean, yeah.
You're like, boobies.
Yeah, I'm still like that. I'm like, boobies.
Goodness.
I'm like, ooh, yeah.
Temptations.
Ooh. Which we get the scene where the other Knight Sabers are like, no, you can't go without us.
Have you ever asked anybody to put a wig on?
No.
Here, I need you to put this pink wig on. Can I call you Pris?
Did you notice that Nene's hair color has changed like several shades in this episode? Like there are parts where it got lighter and darker.
Not in this episode, but like overall. Not in this episode, but all three of them, yeah.
Yeah, like her hair goes from dark to light to dark to light pink, which is funny.
And I can't figure out if part of it is because of like something like shadows, or whatever. I can't figure that out, but and this one, whenever we have where she opens the gate for Pris, she kind of almost looks like, is it Cutie Honey that kind of has that same color?
Yeah, a little bit.
Like that dark purplish.
Yeah, Cutie Honey is like a reddish hair, but she does look a little like Cutie Honey a little bit in this like her hairstyle and stuff, and like because her hair looks like very like purplish, like dark pink almost, like a plum color at one point.
Yeah.
And then it's like light pink in another scene. And I'm like, was that because of the shadowing, like you said, or was it just a color mistake?
Yeah, I have no idea. Because are they alluding to something? Is she one of those girls who changes her hair color that much?
Maybe. Her roots are probably like burnt out.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That could happen.
But we start to get the awesome music towards the end of this.
Baby, now you feel like number one.
Yeah, and we get them like suiting up and stuff, and they're going after Mason. They're going after Genom, and they're going to go take him down. And we get this pretty cool action scene of them fighting different boomers on the motorcycles and stuff like that.
Well, so we did get a really cool part in this as well, where because so far what we've seen is Pris's red motorcycle thing that turns into like a mech.
She gets a new one. She gets a new one in this episode.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so Mackie gives her a new motorcycle at one point. We forgot to say.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah.
But this one, the motorcycle works as like an exo armor over her pre-existing armor, which I thought was kind of cool.
Yeah, that they do that in the first episode, but in this one as well, the armor is also kind of sentient almost because it starts fighting when she's not even in the armor. Because Lena has the same thing as well.
Oh, well, in the first one and the second one, the armor fought by itself already, but I didn't think she could climb into it like she did this one.
Oh, no, yeah. She at the end of the first episode, she climbs in to defeat the big boomer. She gets in like the motorcycle armor.
I must have missed that.
It's a big part of the episode. How could you miss it?
I don't know. I just remember like it did it itself. Maybe she borrowed its gun or something. I don't know, but I didn't. No, I don't remember.
She climbs into it because it ends up like blowing up.
Oh, because I remember in this one, that's how it.
Yeah, because she hasn't had her motorcycle in quite a while. She's been using a different one, and then she gets gifted, surprisingly, one from Mackie.
She gets gifted the one from the pervert.
She probably showed her tits, and he was like, "Here, have a free motorcycle."
Maybe that's where we're missing the whole thing on this other thing where it says he's been looking at other people. Maybe that's how he did get the motorcycle.
Yeah. He's like, "Here, you can see my tits if you get me another motorcycle."
Yeah,
I can totally see that.
We didn't get a chance to see that, but he did.
Yeah, he did. But yeah, we get this cool fight scene between the Knight Sabers and the different boomers, and Mason, who has his own hard suit. It's a pretty intense action scene, I feel like.
Yeah.
I like it when Nene shoots the one boomer in the eye on accident. I thought that was really funny.
Oh, yeah, and it blows up.
Yeah. She's like, "Ow, my eye." And he's like,
yeah.
But we do get this scene where Celia ends up going up against Mason, and she gets uncovered as being a Knight Saber. She gets unmasked for being a Knight Saber. And then she ends up killing Mason, but we don't ever actually get to see the final blow. We get to see her sword come out, and then, she like puts her hand up. But we never actually see her like kill him, which I feel like is a waste a little bit, in my personal opinion.
No, I think we got to see it.
Maybe it was very fast. I don't know, but I didn't get to see it.
Because I don't think they did it directly because we didn't see like her hand, but we saw the blade kind of go into his neck.
Yeah, and she kills him.
Yeah,
she kills him.
Because there's one moment where he's saying something to her, and then you see like the little animation where her blade pops up out of her hand, and then at the very bottom you get this little sliver of gray that kind of goes into his neck, and then you see a little piece pop out of the back of his neck, and that's it.
Okay, I must have missed that part then.
But yeah, all that crap happens, and then I got to tell you, they did Mason dirty. Okay.
Yeah.
So after they're done with the battle and they leave, and we have Leon come back up.
Oh yeah.
Then he's sitting there, and you see it's Mason's face in the reflection, and he still looks like an asshole. Like he's just sitting there, like staring into it. We don't even see his face except in the reflection, and he looks like a dick.
Yeah, and then they end up leaving, and Pris. What I'm guessing, Pris gives Show to an orphanage or something. I'm not really for sure.
No idea.
Like, they walk up to this place. She leaves. She gives them to these people. She leaves, and he kind of waves to her, and like, that's it. That's the episode.
Yeah. See, I don't remember seeing that. Did it happen like in the credits?
It happened like after the fight and stuff, and the credits started, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a very like nonchalant scene. Like they don't have any like voiceover or anything like that. It's just a scene with like music playing, and she walks up to this building.
Yeah.
drops him off, and leaves. And like that's how the episode ends.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, it's kind of depressing. He has nobody.
Yeah, yeah. So, am I going to say this is a perfect episode? No, I am not.
It's not a perfect episode at all.
Am I going to say that I feel like this episode had a good mix of all the different things that you should probably like in most of these episodes? Yes, I am. But of course, like I said, there can still be things that were worked on. But as I said before, I do think that this was one of the best episodes that we've watched so far.
I feel like I forgot a lot about this episode, and I probably misremembered stuff in different orders, and like I feel like I didn't explain it well enough.
Yeah,
because everything just blurred together into one like weird animation thing. Like I didn't hate it. I enjoyed the episode for the most part.
I agree with you. I feel like if you were looking at chapters for like a TV show or something like that, that it would make sense. But I really feel like this only has like what you would consider 3 chapters.
And honestly, like I was kind of confused for a good chunk of it. Like I was like, what is Genom doing? Like, what's their goal?
Yeah, yeah.
Because it was so odd for them to like evict all these people, you know, tear down the buildings, you know, have the thing at the beginning attack people.
Yeah, yeah.
And stuff. So like it was such a like odd thing to I don't know. It was just odd. It was odd. And I didn't really feel like it all certainly necessarily all went together in a sense.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. So one thing I think would be really nice is if this did get like a revamp.
It did.
Are we talking about the new one?
20 whatever it is, 2040.
Did they revamp it off of these ones, or did they revamp?
They did a whole remake.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if they did like these episodes, but there was a whole remake.
Well, so I feel like it would be, without watching the other ones, I feel like right now with these ones, they would be better with a revamp of the stuff, where we did have more like, hey, let's work on episode 1. Okay, now let's move on to episode 2. Okay, let's move on to episode 3, instead of this whole kind of shotgun mess. Because I feel like we're not able to really get much attachment. Like I can't really feel like I can get attached to really any of these characters, because we either get a lot of them in one episode, and then we don't get anything on them like in the next episode.
I can see that. Like I totally get what you're saying with that.
So like, even though we have all this, like nothing in the suit stick out to me, nothing else like that. Like I know I keep going back to another comparison of like Ronin Warriors or Samurai Showdown or whatever. But like the suit sticks out, and then you know what it is. These ones, sometimes when they're fighting, you go, is that Lena? No, that's got to be.
See, I know who they are when they're fighting.
Yeah,
because like Nene has like the pink bottoms and the blue, and Pris is mostly blue and black and gray, and Lena's like green, and then Silly is like a silver color.
Yeah,
but I mean, I can see what you're coming from.
Yeah,
and like how you're getting a little bit confused, like who's who. In a sense.
Well, I mean, we just don't get like enough.
Yeah, and like, we get all these little character moments, but there's not really like 100% character development. They're almost like fitting like these archetypes for characters.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd agree with that. Yeah. And like, so I feel like if we had more like of the character development where it made sense, it would be better.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other thing is, if we had one big bad guy, we kind of got little clips of, like, and I'm not asking for a lot. They could be like little 5-second clips here and there.
Yeah.
Like, give me like a fucking Giovanni guy in a chair like looking out.
Well, the thing is,
looking out of a window here and there a couple
there
times.
was, but we don't get a lot of him. Like the head of Genon, like we've seen him in this episode because he tells Mason, he's like, "Don't fuck up this time, Mason." Basically, like
I just need more of that where it's like profound.
Yeah, I mean he hasn't very much been profound in this.
Because the other thing with this right now is like we have Genom as like the big bad guy of everything, but really it's just kind of like I feel like Monster of the Week, where it's like, well, what boomer's gonna come out today?
I don't know. It is very much Monster of the Week. It definitely is.
Because I mean, like, and then we get ones that kind of are the same. Like underneath, we always have like your basic boomers. Sad to say, if I ruin this for anybody, mixed in with our Monster of the Week, we always get a basic bitch. Okay,
but I mean, Monster of the Week, like, is it bad?
No, I agree with that. I just mean mixed in, we have this basic boomer.
Yeah,
and so like in the first one, we had the one big boomer, and then there was the thing of boomers, but then we had the big boomer that was able to fuse to everything. That was our Monster of the Week in the first episode.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last one was we kind of got more of a
berserker. The super boomer.
Yeah, we got more of a berserker super boomer that was all red.
Yeah.
So that was like a, hey, he stands out. And then this one is we get this one that looks more of like a mech. Like a mech.
Yeah.
And of course, like we get Mason in the suit, so we actually got a face. Obviously he died, but to me that's one of the worst parts about this is we have more of the enemies that stick out more than the character development and stuff of the girls.
Yeah.
And yet at the same time, I'm still confused on the fact of like, okay, we just know that they work for this agency, but it's like if we watched all of Pokemon and just knew Jesse and James, but they swapped. Like we got Jesse and James and Butch and Cassidy, and we got all these other people that were Team Rocket grunts, and we never saw the same faces.
Yeah,
and yet everybody expects us to know who the fuck Giovanni is.
Yeah,
like that's one of the things that kind of gets me in this is because we don't have that.
Genon's like this big entity, and like yes, we've seen like the head guy in charge of Genon. Like I think it was like the second time we've probably seen him.
Yeah,
like he's not like 100% really prevalent. It was kind of more Mason doing the stuff, I feel like.
Yeah. But I feel like it would be better with that, like knowing that this is going to happen. And
yeah,
like one of the other gripes that I have with this episode is Pris brings up at one point that Mason's been doing this stuff all along or whatever. And I just wanted to pause it and be like, whoa, what do you mean he's been doing all this stuff? Because this is the first fucking episode I've seen him, okay?
He was at the very end of the first episode.
I'm like, what else has he been doing? So
yeah, he was the one at the very end of the first episode in the helicopter.
Okay.
If you remember that part.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just feel like somebody like gave me like the first like 3 or 4 seasons of Lost, and then they hacked out like pieces of it. Like here's episode 1, and here's episode 5, and here's episode. Oh, maybe we'll give you episode 6 this time. Yeah, we're gonna give you episode 8 next, and like you make it through the season, and you're like, I think I have more questions than answers.
I mean, yeah, I have questions too. Like, what the hell does Genon want to do? How did the Knight Sabers come together? Yeah. Why do they have articles that they have to follow?
That just happened this episode that are made up.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's so many questions, so little time, I feel like.
And oh my gosh, you have this, but Celia, you just killed some motherfucker. Oh my god, that's against the code, and nothing happens to you. Like, I figured somebody was gonna like cast a fireball down and burn you alive, but that didn't
I don't
happen.
know if killing is against the code. I don't know. We get all the
I
codes.
I don't know. Whenever they kind of like talked about the Celia, and they did the whole scene where all the girls ran up after she stabbed him.
Yeah,
it was like one of those moments that kind of seemed like, oh, you went against the code.
yeah, because like they're not allowed to act on vengeance.
Yeah, yeah.
But this kind of was like a vengeance mission.
Yeah.
So I mean, you kind of went.
Well, so to me, what I saw this as, if Pris had done it, I wouldn't have seen it the same way. But I saw this as with Celia, that this was your person that is like rule stickler, everything else. We got to abide by all this. This was her breaking her own rule, her oath, her code. And like, okay, this could be the setup for her to be a bad guy.
Yeah.
Or for her to be more like blood crazed, or be like, next time I fight somebody, there is no mercy, like,
yeah,
it's, like where you get like a hero or something you really like, and they break their code, and you're like, oh shit, for me right now, I'm watching the Fear of the Walking Dead, and Morgan's gone through a change like that.
Yeah.
Where it was like, I'm not going to do anything. I don't hurt people. And now it's like, yeah, I hurt them. So,
yeah.
I kind of feel that way is what the development has happened with Celia at this point, with this episode.
All in all, what would you rate this?
I'm gonna go with a 4.
I feel like that's fine.
I'm gonna go with a 4 because I feel like my other ones were pretty low.
I would go with the 4 as well in this situation.
Yeah,
like it's not 100% on my favorite episode.
Yeah,
like it's very, very Monster of the Week. I feel like.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Well, really, this is the first one I feel like really stood out with the brown suit guy.
Yeah, that's good too. Like, you have a take on it than I do.
Yeah. Well, you know what I'm saying? The last two, though, like it was either like a mob of what we already had.
Yeah.
Or it was the red one.
Yeah.
Like this is the first one where we really got a completely different, like this is a complete upgrade that you can't tie into the other ones.
It'll be interesting going forward to see if anybody else gets a hold of their tech.
That's true too. Because the other thing is I could really see, which you know, I mean, I could really see like them taking Mason's body and somehow Leon's group like possibly having a suit like that or something now, or using Mason's old suit, just because like they're kind of the cleanup crew for that stuff.
Yeah.
So, I could see one of them doing it. Which that's one of the other things that I was a little confused about in this episode as well, is we have that whole part where Leon is just sitting at the office and he's just sitting.
And
he's just sitting. And he kicks everything off his desk and he stands up and he goes, "All my guys, move out," or whatever. And I was like,
I like the one guy standing behind him ironing his shirt.
I was like, isn't there only like 3 of you?
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean all your men? Like, the hell?
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. But yeah. I mean, this was fine and fun. It was
I do have one more question for you though. Before we end in.
What?
Do you think that Leon's car could withstand more than like what the helicopter or a regular police car can handle?
I don't know, because he did kind of get into an accident in this episode.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I just saw like in the first one where this one where we were talking about the guy that got shot up like Swiss cheese, and he has like, it looks like a little tank van behind him, and it gets blown up, and I was like, I mean, I wonder if Mason's car is Leon's car is supposed to be built better than that.
To me, the 80 police are so incompetent.
Yeah.
And they have like, I want to say like knockoff stuff, but like their stuff is so low quality. I feel like, and they can't even like take out the boomers.
See, I don't know. That's also like if we go off of these 3 episodes right now, I'm confused on is like, sure, we have all this, but is the reason why they can't have more men or a bigger police force because of what they're having to buy?
Yeah.
Because if we go, okay, well, your average cop car is worth X. Is your average like one of Leon's worth 10 times that amount?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So in that sense, like for every 10 cop cars they buy, they can only buy one of those. Well, we only have one of those, and we have the 2 vans that we've seen.
Yeah.
Like, is that where this particular group's budget is going on the vehicles, on the weaponry? Because we had that big gun thingy that Leon had in the first one.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, what else is in there?
Like, where's their funding?
Yeah, where's the funding? Because, like, the other thing is, and I feel like that I can only see that as an adult. Because I'm like, okay, well, it makes sense that you have this, but you realize that the reason why you don't only have a few of these and you only have a few people is because how much money goes into all that stuff that you actually need. That has to be more armored. It has to be more focused to be able to pierce a boomer's armor. You know, like an actual like regular gun doesn't really do anything.
Yeah, and I got you.
You know, so like seeing part of the other stuff where it's a regular vehicle or something, that was one of the other questions I was kind of like, so are there more of those and more regular police officers because they're basically like cannon fodder?
Maybe.
So.
Maybe. Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah.
But I hope you guys liked this episode, even though it was a little disjointed and all over the place, I feel like.
I felt like this episode was a lot better put together than our last
two. Let us know on our Spotify or Apple Podcasts. We'll read it on, then respond to you on the podcast. Let us know how we're doing. Give us some of your feedback. Let us know what are some of your favorite episodes. What do you want us to cover on the podcast? And we'll catch you guys on the next one.
Yeah. See you next Tuesday.
Peace out.